Good morning, Jessica with Northridge Homes here. Today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the elements of a good design. As a custom home builder, we go through a lot of different design processes with our customers. Sometimes we're starting from a floor plan and making slight modifications. Sometimes we're creating a floor plan from multiple existing plans, and sometimes we're creating something completely from scratch that is just, dreamed up and created with the customer. In any case, there are a few things that are important to think about when you're deciding what those elements of your plan are that you really need and are important to you. One of the more commonly thought of ones is like the idea of a split master. Is it important to you to have the space away from the kids or the guest bedrooms to have the privacy of the master suite? Or is that something where you'd like to be closer? Some people want to be closer to where their kids are sleeping. So that's one thing that will kind of define the starting place for your plan in terms of where are the bedrooms going to be located around what's generally the living space in the middle. A second important factor that is often overlooked is the location of the kitchen in relationship to the garage. One thing that we see sometimes is people want to locate a kitchen on a corner where there's a beautiful view or something like that, but it happens to be on the opposite side of the house from where the garage is. In that case, I always suggest picture yourself in the day-to-day living in the home, bringing those groceries home. When you get home and you've got a car full of groceries that you have to take to the kitchen, are you going to be okay with walking all the way across the house to get to that kitchen? Or would you prefer it to be in closer proximity to the garage and the entry where you're going to bring your groceries in? The third element that I like to recommend people think about is the way that the entryway is going to feel when you come into it or when a guest enters your home. Sometimes we get really caught up in having the master bedroom and the kids' bedrooms in certain locations, taking advantage of a view and having the kitchen where we want it to be, that the entry kind of becomes an afterthought. And sometimes what ends up happening is you may end up with an entry that feels like a hallway. You may end up with an entry that feels sort of small and doesn't have enough room for people to sit down and take their shoes off or put their coat away. And so thinking of the entry as one room, just like all the other rooms in the house that has equal importance, is helpful in that planning stage when we're just putting together kind of the flow of things to really think about how big you want it to be for that feel when you come into the home. From there, we're just putting together that first step, the one line drawing as we call it, of adjacencies, the flow of the house, where everything's going to sit. And then I always recommend kind of sitting with that for a little bit of time and thinking over, picturing yourself in those spaces to make sure that you like the way that you think it will feel, moving between the great room to the kitchen to the dining and the way that that will work. So there's much more than this that goes into planning a custom home, but those are sort of the beginning thoughts that I like to recommend for people when we're thinking about what they want in their dream home.